Hi everyone, welcome to episode 5 of TDA Talks. I recently sat down with Anton Tasič from Slovenia. We had a nice chat about his miniature donkeys on his farm, as well as all the cycle touring he's done in the past years, both independently and with TDA. So I hope you enjoy this episode. Thanks for listening. How are you doing?
Good, how are you?
I'm good. Well, thanks for doing this and taking some time away from your donkeys.
Why not? I spend enough time with them. They won't be jealous.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Well, I sent you a couple questions. First of all, thanks for doing this. And I was in Slovenia several years ago for our tour that passes through Slovenia, and I was looking on the map. I don't think you're in Maribor or near Maribor.
Yeah, Maribor, yeah.
Yeah, so I don't think we went through there, or if we did, we didn't.
No,
stop.
you went through Tui, which is about 25 kilometers.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah.
But I remember, I think it was the day before Patui, there was some beautiful climbing. I guess it's the Slovenian Alps and through this little village, Jerusalem, up in the hills. Was very beautiful.
Okay, this part of Slovenia is not Alps.
Okay.
It's because the Alps are on the western part of the country.
Right.
We call this more hills, and Jerusalem is a famous wine region.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that ride in particular. It was just gorgeous. So let me just start. If you can tell me your name and where you're from and what tours you've done with us.
My name is Anton Tasič. I'm coming from Slovenia, and I joined the TDA Tour d'Afrique 2018 and North American Epic 2019. It's what I did with the TDA.
Great. And the first question I've been asking everyone, which is the thing that's on a lot of people's minds right now, is how you're coping and how the COVID-19 situation is affecting yourself and your family in the region.
We are just part of the globe. Nothing else can I say. I mean, the same situation is in our country as on the rest of the world. But I won't allow the virus to affect my life too much. So, I moved to my farm, and on my farm, I don't feel it that I am in a quarantine. I have enough place around the house to run up and down the hills. My farm is big enough. It's about 7, 8 hectares. So when I get out of the house, I can walk either way a couple of hundreds of meters and still don't meet anybody. I do cycle a little bit. I just got back from a mountain bike trip, which was not here, was a bit farther in Maribor. My farm is about 15 kilometers outside the town. What else can I say? I unplugged my TV, so I'm not bothered with the news and with the fake news. So I'm not stressed about this. And I'm just waiting patiently this storm to get over.
Anton, maybe could you share with me a favorite memory you have from one of your TDA trips?
I recalled a little bit. I went through my memories, and I would say that the most I enjoyed in North American Epic, in national parks like Grand Canyon and Monument Valley. I was lucky at that time. There was not too crowded in those areas, and the nature is really something special. Um, I don't want to be unfair toward my African trip, which was also amazing. But still, I would say the first place are these places like I mentioned already.
Mm-hmm. And is it the wide open spaces, or what is it that you remember about it that made it so special?
Yeah, the most what I remember is wide open space. The same was on the first part of the trip from Tuk to Yaktuk down first 1,000 kilometers on gravel road. This was also enjoyable because there were many more bears than people or wildlife than people around, and I don't like crowds. Crowd like 20 or 30 people, TDA group with the staff is more than enough for me.
Sounds good. And I remember you spoke about the national parks in one of our videos. I don't know if you've seen the finished product yet, but if you look on our YouTube channel, it's part 4, and you had some really great lines in there that, you know, you're not longing for Panama City, but you're trying to enjoy every experience and every moment along the way until you get to Panama City. So the journey is really the goal for you. So I liked that, and I think you had one line, the path is my goal. So it's very nice. Yeah, good way to put it. I think that's true for me too with cycling.
Yeah, you know, if the final point is your goal, then you would rush. And if you rush, you miss a lot of things along the way. So that's why my preference is to enjoy every single moment, even if it's raining, even if it's cold, even if you have mud or water in your tent. Still is special moments, and you just simply have to enjoy it. If you bother yourself or getting angry because of hunger or cold or steep hills, then you are not for cycling. Then you are just for laying on the couch on the sofa at home. And that's why I keep saying enjoy every single moment on the tour. And sometimes you have to rush, you know, if you expect a headwind, then you try to start earlier, because if you are lazy and you got stuck on the road for any reason and getting tired, exhausted, and then still some headwind comes, at that day, in those days, I rush. But still in a kind of a sense way.
Right, to be strategic and to sort of preserve your energy, right, for the next day. Yeah. So if there was someone watching this who had never done a cycle tour like this, do you have a piece of advice for them above and beyond what we've just been discussing?
I don't have any advice for the people who did the tours, any kind of tours. But the people who didn't make the tour, they would need just one advice from my point of view. Just go and try. First maybe 2 days, 3 days, I started like, I took my bike, a tent, and went for a 3-day trip. And I have challenged myself, and I have tested myself. And then you start adding days, making longer tours, and through this point of view, you can test yourself and see if you are ready for bigger challenges. This would be my advice.
Great. So speaking of that, so you started with some shorter trips, and then I found online that in 2015 you did a pretty big trip around Europe, traveling on your own, carrying your own gear. Is that right?
Yeah, and a year before, 2014, I did 12,000 kilometer tour, self-supported, crossing the states and down west coast to Mexico. And before I hit the road, before that first trip, I remember I put about 30 liters of water into my bags and climbed the hills in my hometown, about 1,200-meter elevation gain, just to test myself if I can carry this kind of weight.
Right.
It took me maybe 5 hours for 25 kilometers. I was on that trip, I was on my recumbent trike, which is even slower, much slower than a normal bike. And this test I passed, and then I say, okay, you can do it. And so this was my first longer trip, was in 2014.
Okay.
Yeah.
Excellent. And I saw a few pictures from your trip the next year around Europe. Were you traveling with a cycling companion, or was it some of your family that joined you for parts of it? I saw some photos you were cycling with some other people at certain times.
Well, you meet on the road. You always meet some people. This was also when I not joined like TDA, then I go by myself, because you rarely find enough crazy people to be to suit you or to fit your character, your attitude, your yeah. Like I said, it's difficult to find a real companion for such a challenge.
For such a long trip, absolutely.
Yeah.
So you're based near Maribor and you have a farm. Can you tell us a little bit about what you do on the farm and what you raise on the farm?
We have just a bit over 40 animals on the farm. The biggest herd are mini donkeys. We have 16 donkeys, and what I do with them, we mostly hug them, we mostly pet them, we take care of them, we feed them, we give them love, and they give us a lot of love back. Then we have a couple of horses, llamas, alpacas, some Guinea pigs, Vietnamese pigs, the pot-belly pigs is in English, goats, sheep, cats, dogs.
Great.
That's it.
And so you said they're mostly for the enjoyment, I guess. Do you sell any of them, or they're all just pets?
Okay, we do try to sell some donkeys because we have too many of them.
Right.
Last year, unexpectedly, we got 4 newborn donkeys, which are very cute. Right now, we spend so much time with them, just hugging them. They're really cute. They are so sweet, unimaginable. If you don't see them, you can imagine how sweet they can be.
I bet. Mini donkeys sounds very cute.
Yeah, they really are. If you go among them, you lay down, they would come around you. They would. Oh. Yeah. No. Each single animal on our farm has its name, so they are really a part of the family.
Well,
it's a big family.
Excellent. And how long have you had the farm and animals? Is this something that's been in your family, or?
Okay, the farm we have since 2006, and the animals since 2000. We gradually became animals,
right,
since 2010.
So when you go on your bicycle tours, is it hard to leave your animals behind and your family behind?
Um, I hope my family won't hear me, but it's easy to leave the family. Easier than animals.
Yeah, I hear
But
you.
they know me. They know. I mean, family and the animals. All they know that most probably I'll come back. So they will patiently wait for me.
Right. Yeah. Maybe last question. So how did you get into cycling? Like, have you always been doing that? Is cycle touring something you picked up in
Uh,
2014 when you did your first big trip, or how did it go
how did I start? I'm a cyclist since last 40 years or something.
about? Mm-hmm.
Never racer, mostly mountain biker. And then on one day in 2013, my wife took me to somebody has given introducing about his trip crossing the states.
Mm-hmm.
Incumbent. It was an old guy, 73 years old, I remember, and I was impressed. And before that, I have never heard about cycle touring, never. And when I saw that, I said to myself and to my wife, "Ooh, I could do that." And within 2 months or 3 months, I had my own recumbent and started to test myself. In the next year, I did the trip crossing the states.
Great. Wonderful. Yeah. Anton, did you have anything else you wanted to add? Any other comments?
Well, I would just say stay safe to everybody.
Yeah, thanks.
And optimistic.
Yeah, no, that's really
Yeah.
important for sure.
Yeah.
I think we'll all get through this, and it's just a challenging time. Well, thank you so much for doing this, and I wish you all the best with your mini donkeys and in Slovenia. Cool. Well, have a great evening. All the best.
Yeah. Stay safe.
You too. Bye-bye.
Yeah.
That's it for episode 5. Hope you enjoyed that. If you're interested to see future episodes, you can find them on our YouTube channel or at tda.bike. That's tda.bike. Thanks very much.